good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Good whatever time of the day you're watching this video at. Good 6:36 p.m. Actually, I'll upload this at a specific time. Good 5:33 p.m. So if you're watching this right when I upload it, then thank you. I'm driving over to Starbucks right now. It's 6:30 in the morning. I've been waking up at 6 o'clock this week-ish, and I'm going to try to make that the norm. Before that, I was waking up at 6:30, but now I'm waking up at 6 just to help with Logan in the mornings a little bit. But I woke up this morning, and her and Caleb were both still sleeping, so I'm on my way to Starbucks to get her a coffee. It's an absolute shit day outside. I don't know if you can... Here, let me flip this around. Pretty cloudy, pretty dreary, but you know, it's not too bad because we have our TCSC class this morning, and those classes tend to get me going. I am sweating buckets in those classes, so honestly, it's not too bad. It gets hot here in Kamloops. It gets really hot, so I do like a nice sunny day, but when it comes to training outside, this is nice. This is way better weather. So we have two Starbucks orders. We got a hot drink or we got a cold drink. Today, probably going to be a hot drink. Her order is usually a grande oat milk latte with 1 pump of sugar-free vanilla and cinnamon powder on top. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Man, this Starbucks is right next to the highway here too, and it's so fucking loud when cars drive by or a semi-truck is going by. Or there's also there's a railroad right there, so when a train is going by, you can't hear anything. What they should have done is set up the driveway so that you're facing the other way, not facing the highway. They should have hired me to be the architect. An architect would not have built a driveway who designs driveways? Drive-throughs. Why am I saying driveway? Drive-through. Engineers. Civil engineers. There you go. I think that's right. Or I'm just exposing myself to how stupid I am. I think it's civil engineer. From my understanding, civil engineers design roads and highways and shit like that. I don't know. Who knows? I'm clearly not an engineer. Hi. Good. How are you? Sure, please. Yeah.
There you are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Got coffee all over my hand. All right, getting ready for the engine class now. Gonna take this along with me, 1 packet Element. These are just electrolyte packets, 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, 60 milligrams magnesium. For the average person, you do not need to be taking electrolytes. I'm taking them because when you're doing like engine classes or like training in the heat or even like working in the heat, if you're sweating a lot, these can be very helpful, very beneficial. Obviously, when you're sweating, your sweat is sodium. You're sweating out a lot of salt, a lot of sodium. And sodium is actually really important when it comes to your performance and in the ways that your muscles contract, the hydration process. So sodium is actually very beneficial for people who are training, and just in general, you do need sodium. But to supplement with electrolytes, not necessary for the average person. But if you're training a lot and sweating a lot, then these can be very helpful. There's the workout for today. Not really sure how it's going to be set up, but yeah, 20 minutes on the clock, 600 meter bike, 16 kettlebell swings, and step ups. Caleb, I got the mic hooked up. You got anything to say?
You're gonna hear him grunting and groaning.
Okay, back home now from the engine class. I pretty much died. It was 20 minutes on the clock, and it was a partner workout. So one person goes 600 meters on the bike while the other person's resting. And then once that person finishes on the bike, then the other person does 16 kettlebell swings. You go on to step ups. And I pretty much died. At the end of the workout, we completed it. We got 8 rounds of the workout. But once I finished it, I I always get, like, I don't always get like this, but if I go really hard in a workout, you know how that feeling when you feel like you're gonna puke, but I just never get to that point where I do puke. I just feel like it's gonna happen. I get very lightheaded, very dizzy, and it's not a good time. So I had to go outside a little bit and catch some air. But it was nice because, like I said earlier, it's nice that it's shitty out today because it was raining. It was nice and cool out, so it actually felt pretty good. So I got some lunch now. Chicken, rice, cucumbers, and then some Renee's Mediterranean Greek vinaigrette. And we got some pineapple and White Monster. And we got Caleb here, trying to settle down. Are you okay, bud? Are you okay? You need to go down for a nap. You've been awake for too long. Mommy said you only slept for half an hour. Yeah, Dad, it's too fucking bright in here. Turn down all the lights. It's kind of like a double day today. We got volleyball tonight. We're 2-1. Got one more game to go. So we made it out to the track. We like coming out here to walk, mainly because in our neighborhood, it's very hilly. There's a lot of inclines, a lot of declines. So with Caleb pushing him, obviously it makes it a lot harder. You can't just have like a casual walk in our neighborhood. Like you just you end up hustling and you don't even realize it because there's so many hills. But with Caleb, obviously coming to the track, it's nice and flat and it's change of scenery. You just doing laps around here, but it's a nice track. It's not like it's a shitty track or anything, so we don't mind coming out here. Updates on Caleb too. The doctor said that he is growing twice as fast as like the average baby. They were saying babies normally grow, what was it, 20 to 30 grams a day, and he is growing 44 grams a day. So he's gaining 44 grams a day versus average babies 22 to 30. So he's growing like a weed. Doing okay in there, bud? Got his fan going. Currently, I'm at 3,700 steps, which I've honestly been falling short on my steps the last few days. Well, not necessarily the last few days, but I've been falling short in terms of like how quickly I get my steps in. I usually get them done pretty early, but obviously with Caleb, I don't get them done as early as I would like. A few days I've been falling short, but that's one thing I want to get better at is just making sure I'm staying on my feet and trying to get as many steps as I can in a day. Minimum 10,000 steps, even though it's not really a big deal for me right now. I just need to make sure I'm getting my training in, but I still want to make sure I'm staying relatively active. All right, about to get this upper body workout in. I'll pop it up on the screen right here. It's pretty similar to the lower body day in the sense that it's just 3 sets of 6. I've actually been training my upper body the last few months. I know in the last video I was talking about how I haven't been training my lower body, but my upper body is up to par. So I'm definitely gonna use appropriate weights. I'm gonna use heavier weights. It's 3 o'clock right now. It's kind of like that midday, like I don't really have that much energy. So I wanna make sure that I try to get some sort of a solid lift in. And by the way, I know last video I was talking about how I'm gonna be so sore after that leg day. I was not sore. I was a little sore. I was definitely a little sore, but I definitely can go heavier for the next workout, for the next lower body session. Just because I wasn't sore doesn't mean it wasn't a good workout. I'm just saying I think I can definitely push more now, knowing that I got that out of the way. It was kind of a pussy with that first workout. And now going into my next one, I know I can definitely push more. So first movement up on the list is barbell rows. All right, I'm gonna get warmed up here. Got a 25 on each side. A lot of people on Instagram I find don't really like barbell rows. They say it's a shit exercise for hypertrophy, but I honestly really like the movement. And sure, you may have limited range of motion because the barbell is hitting your hips, whereas if you were to use dumbbells, you aren't limited, right? Because you can just row your arms next to your hips there. But honestly, I really like barbell rows because typically you can load it a little bit heavier, which again, you can make the same argument for dumbbells. You just hold heavier dumbbells. But there's something about holding a really heavy weight in your hands that is also contributing to growth that I don't know how to scientifically prove, or if there's any evidence to support like muscle growth just by holding heavy ass weight. Through a barbell and being able to load it up quite a bit, I think definitely contributes to overall strength, but also some hypertrophy. There's gotta be something, but I'm just kind of talking out my ass here. I just like barbell rows. When I'm doing these barbell rows, you can either do them supinated, so with your palms facing out, or you can do them pronated with your palms facing in. I personally like the supinated grip more just because I feel like you get more of your lats, whereas overhand, you get a little bit more trap involvement, which again, to each their own. Like at the end of the day, you're kind of splitting hairs. But personally, I like the supinated grip a little bit more, and it just feels a little bit more natural to me. So I got a plate on each side now here. I'm gonna go for 6 reps. Stay bent over. Yeah, I'll bump it up a little bit. All right, 185 pounds on the bar. Let's see how this goes. Come on. Oh, that's heavy. Too heavy.
Some information that we have to gather in order to update your profile.
Okay, so that clip you just saw was Logan and I speaking with someone to set up a investment account education plan for Caleb. Basically just, trying to set him up financially later on in life. It's so funny when you become a parent because everyone would always tell me leading up to Caleb's birth that all your priorities shift towards him. You think about all the things you do, all the decisions you make, and you start to think about him, how it impacts him, how it impacts your kid, how it impacts their future, all these kinds of things. And I never obviously understood that because I didn't have a kid. But now that I'm here and I'm thinking about his future and how I want his life to look like, how I was raised, what were some good things my parents did, what were some things that my parents did that I didn't necessarily want to do to him. It just makes you think and it makes you wonder, like, how can I really make sure I give this kid the best possible life? And obviously having money set aside and being set up financially is a huge advantage in life. If you have something like that, if your parents set you up with something like that, that obviously gives you such a head start in life. And I obviously want to do that for Caleb. I really want to make sure that, when it comes time to it, when he's in his 20s, 30s, like, I don't want him to have to struggle or anything like that. I want to make sure that he's got that safety net. But then I also want to make sure that he's disciplined, he's hardworking, he's his own person, blah, 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 all this stuff. So we'll put these things in place, obviously, to make sure that he's, set up for life if we can, or just do whatever we can in our power to make sure that he is taken care of, that he doesn't have to worry about things. And I just want to make sure that, I just do the best things possible for him so that he has a good life and a good future. So I think I'm just going to wrap this video up here. If you've made it to this point in the video, I appreciate you. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment down below. And Logan watched the last video. She told me I need some sort of outro. I need something. So she told me to say like this video, whatever, blah, 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 and say, what did she say? Caleb's dad is out, something like that.
I need some sort of sign off. So I need to come up with something. But until I figure it out, we'll see you in the next one.